everybody. I wanted to share with you some amazing news. Those of you who have followed me know that at the moment I'm concentrating on our Taino ancestors. And so I was super excited to find out that in December, a new museum dedicated to the Tainos has opened up in Santo Domingo. El Centro Cultural Taino Casa del Cordon is open. And as El Listín Diario here reports, there are about 350 pieces that have been donated por la Fundación de Manuel García Arevalo, who have been on the forefront of pre-Hispanic studies in the Dominican Republic. They have also donated iconic or legendary pieces from the Taino culture. As it says here, una pieza absolutamente única que está en muchos de los libros de historia sobre la civilización prehispánica. And I love this part, this description of how this museum kind of exhibits the fusion of these cultures. It says, los españoles que llegaron a un medio desconocido tuvieron que hacer uso de muchas de las técnicas, costumbres, palabras, y ahí empieza lo que podríamos llamar la cultura criolla. Una cultura mestiza, una cultura de ida y vuelta, afirma García Arévalo, para quien se trató de una integración, una fusión, en la que los europeos adoptaron los saberes, las experiencias de los indígenas. E incluso llevaron a otras zonas costumbres y alimentos como el casabe, and I'll talk about some news about el casabe in another post. And then they talk about how la palabra canoa, which I covered in like one of the first parts of my episode 5 talking directly about the Taino culture, fue la primera palabra americana que pasó al diccionario castellano de Nebrija de 1494. Incluso los españoles llamaron como a los taínos huracán a ese fenómeno que ellos desconocían, y otros términos taínos vigentes son barbacoa, ají, maíz o tabaco, además de muchas otras palabras que yo le he enseñado a ustedes. Y el mismo edificio, so even the building where this new museum is at, was actually, it says it's Patrimonio Nacional, y edificio que fue audiencia real, so where Enriquillo went to put in a complaint about what was happening to him. Hogar de virreyes y el lugar donde el pirata Francis Drake pesaba las ganancias. And they explain that part of the uniqueness, I'm going to say, of this museum is that they wanted to recreate what the world was like for our indigenous ancestors. So explican que el museo usó los mejores ingredientes tanto en la ilustración como en la parte audiovisual, para que sea todo lo más fidedigno, so the most authentic possible. Indumentaria, rasgos físicos, los bohíos, las cabañas, posiciones de las manos cuando hacían cerámica, etc. They did so much research to make this as lifelike, as real as possible. They also consulted the chroniclers of the time. So Oviedo, Bartolomé, they were all consulted to make sure that the representations in the museum were accurate. And they also spoke about the importance that this museum is in the heart of Santo Domingo, en la ciudad colonial. And they explain, es una forma de reivindicar en una zona donde está la primera urbe de importancia de España en América, pórtico de entrada de la civilización europea. Es una manera de reivindicar la memoria de los primeros pobladores, sus aportes a la sociedad dominicana que están vigentes en muchos órdenes. And this is the front of this building. This is where el mismo Enriquillo arrived to defend his case. This was also a palace. La Casa del Cordon, as it explains here, fue restaurada, and it was built in 1503. Many historians point this out as one of the first houses made of stone and of 2 levels in the Western Hemisphere of European design. 1503 is also an important date for our island. It is around this time that the first slaves, African slaves, are imported into the island. I've tried this a couple of times already because it's hard to say. But it is also the year in which Nicolás de Ovando tricked Anacaona, killed, murdered, set on fire while alive more than 80 caciques of the island. During the massacre of 1503, or La Tarde Roja, Anacaona was captured. She was taken to Santo Domingo and held as a prisoner for 3 months. It's assumed that she was held in the precursor of the Osama fortress, que está en Santo Domingo. She was then put on trial, found guilty, and hung in the public square in la Zona Colonial de Santo Domingo. So while the Casa del Cordon was being built, Anacaona and her people were being persecuted. So this museum is part of the vindication process for the natives of the island. And I hope that we all get the chance to visit el museo, o mejor dicho, el Centro Cultural Taino, Casa del Cordon.